Hello everybody, I made one step back and I'm again only using this transistor tester without the voltage regulator. So I'm testing again BD681, you can see it there. But this time, as you can observe, I managed to acquire a very large heatsink, aluminum heatsink here. And I cannot talk very long time. I will show you, here it is, my calculations. This is 20.48. And this is my data that I collected it, and this is how it's running, and that's my power supply, 9 volts, and 2.6 is there. It should be 6, let me adjust it, amps. And this means, this last line that I'm having here, 9 volts from the power supply, amperage that my power supply is showing. Load resistor that I'm using here is 0.2 ohms at 50 watts, and it is hot, like very hot. This heatsink is very hot as well right now. This is a scrapped stick from a detergent, most probably, because it was smelling as a detergent right now when everything heat up over 50 degrees Celsius pretty much. When I took the data less than 5 minutes, it was 64, but probably now I'm over a little bit, around 5 minutes right now, so it's 69 there. Come on, and let's continue. And I calculated the wattage as power supply amperage times voltage over collector emitter of this transistor. So that's what I'm having here. The probes of this voltmeter connected to collector and emitter, and I'm collecting this voltage here, as you can see, 7.88 there. Right now, at this point, I finally managed to obtain a very realistic power dissipation over this transistor that is literally boiling here. Now it's 70 degrees Celsius. This is my first. This is the first time in my life when I'm doing this. I was discussing this problem with different people along my life. It's not the first time when I'm thinking about it. I'm actually thinking for a very long time to do this kind of tests, but I never got the balls to do them. But with the help from America and from England, UK, I finally managed to gather my balls and expose them here. And voila, half. This is actually official half of the wattage of this BD681 that I'm having it here. Is I noted its datasheet data, 100 volts, 4 amps, and 40 watts. So I should probably increase way more voltage over this transistor to get close, well, to ramp up towards 100 volts. It's not that I will reach 100 volts, but the idea is to ramp up to that voltage, datasheet voltage. This also is its maximum, and also the amperage maximum, and also the wattage maximum. But so, holy fuck, it's very hot. It's very hot. And it's very thick. Let me give you its characteristics. I took the dimensions from it, and is this 190 millimeters by 190 millimeters by 6 millimeters height, and this is its height here from here to here. This is its height, and I quickly get this 190 100 millimeters. It means 19 centimeters. So 19 centimeters, almost 20 centimeters. Let's see, this ruler is 15. Let me give you another one to have a comparison how long it is. So this is like this. So this is starting from 0 here exactly on this margin, and it's finishing there, and it's almost like this long. You see, if you see, it's there. You have to look it from the top like that. It's 19. And although this is not perfectly square, it's good enough. It's in the ballpark for my money. For my money is very in the ballpark. This is a scrapped, very thick aluminum plate that I managed to find it in my house. Actually, it was somewhere under a lot of shit, and I took everything apart, and I started to search something. I didn't know what I was searching, but my instinct told me that I should search a little bit more deeper in all my stuff, and I find it. I find this. Actually, I found this was a leg. So keep in mind that all this time I'm talking here, the temperature is increasing a little bit, and it is running at 20 watts right now. And this is changing there, 2.57, because probably this knob is moving a little bit, and it's almost at its maximum here. Here is at this position is its maximum, so it's a bit over the middle of the travel. This potentiometer. So let me tweak it back as it should be. Probably it is moving a little bit. I'm not sure. So it's all this time it is running. Everything is running, and it reached 75 degrees Celsius in 10 minutes. I should note this. So there, I made the change. So 65, around 65 in 5 minutes, and 75 now in 10 minutes. And 10 minutes, the long as I was filming and explaining things. So back to the this is very hot, very hot plate. It is dissipating very quickly towards the margins here. But there is the probe. Let me point it. So there is the probe that is touching the surface here. It's very close to the transistor, and I use this patch there, and also my clipper there, so to maintain it secure good enough. This is very hot. Oh wow, this is very hot. It's probably way over 50 degrees Celsius. But back to this aluminum heatsink. This was actually a leg from a computer, from a Macintosh PC, a very old model Macintosh PC. A friend of mine gave it to me. I don't know if everybody knows about Macintosh PCs. It's practically a monitor and a PC in the same case, and it's having one leg. It's very old style and very cool. It's like a laptop, kind of. And you attach your keyboard and everything else, the mouse, on that monitor that is containing everything, the motherboard, the RAM, video card, sound card, etc, etc. And this was its leg, and it was like a L shape. I will probably search for a picture for it on the internet and show it. So it didn't change anything here, 7.88 like before, which is good. And here is 2.6, again, is very good. This is changing like an idiot, the temperature, 77. I hope it will stop rising. My goal is to reach 40 watts. And to finish the story, this is the story of this thing. This is another part of it, of this leg. It's practically, it's a lot of thick material, aluminium. And I hope it's a good aluminium. I will put them aside because the story is not about this leg. Although it is looking very, very good right now. I'm extremely happy that I find it in all my stuff. Not to call it junk, because nothing that I'm having is junk. Everything is valuable. I am a little bit dizzy of excitement. One thing to show you here, it's a very interesting. Let me put it here next to the. I hope this paper will not burn out. So the first test I did at 5 volts here, 1 and 2, and then I quickly reached the maximum of the potentiometer to its maximum there. I'm not sure if it was at this 2 watts or a bit more higher than that. I don't remember. But I realized I am at the maximum of the potentiometer, and I was still having this 1 ohm at 5 watts resistor connected from the beginning here, and I disconnected that resistor. So this time I calculated only this 1 ohm. Let me close everything because I think I demonstrated good enough how things works here, and this is okay, let me turn it off. The last time I overriding or bypassing this 5 ohm resistor with this 1 ohm resistor. It is true that you can override or bypass one weak resistor over one high value resistor, but my friend from America is having a little bit more colder logic than mine, and he actually calculated for me and showed me that actually what I was measuring was 0.8. When I was taking the amperage over it, it was not over 1 ohm, it was a little bit less, 0.8, because of this guy in parallel. Then I stay and thought of it, and what I did is perfectly correct, but for higher values in ohms. So for example, if you have 100 ohms or 1 kilo ohm, you can bypass it very okay with 1 ohm or less than 1 ohm, and it will not make a difference. That's the thing. But this is very close values. This is 5.6 ohms and this is 1 ohm. They are very close together and they are influencing, and I didn't really stay and thought too much of it. I know stuff in back of my head, but when you have to do it in practice, you shit things up a little bit. So this is a little bit of a lesson about bypassing resistors. It is a bypassing, but it's not a good one. It's not an efficient one. I should, like I said already, I should have had way more bigger value here to be bypassed with this very small value. That's the idea. Until here, I was using this 1 ohm at 5 watts, and it was starting to heat up because if you look here, I was getting over the 5 watts, but this 5 watts is over this transistor that I'm testing here, BD681. So until this point here, I was using this 1 ohm. After I did this two tests with 5 volts, I realized I'm getting over in the limit of the travel of the pot, so I had to step up the voltage up to 9 volts. And then when I reached at this point, well, I didn't realize the resistor is heating up. I didn't realize it, but again, like here, I was getting the same problem. The potentiometer was getting, I actually got to the maximum. I'm not sure if I put the value here, that maximum value. I don't think so, because I did the test before and after I noted it here when I observed the wattage. If the wattage was high enough or convenient enough, then I did a couple of calculations before I write it here. That's the idea. And then after I reached the maximum travel of the potentiometer with this 1 ohm resistor, then I said to change it with this 0.2 ohms at 50 watts. From here I should color it probably. Yeah, it's a good idea. Okay, so I colored the 1 ohm experiment here, and at 9 volts I still was having 9 volts, and I decided to change that resistor into 0.2. So it didn't cross my mind that I can actually increase the voltage here a little bit more and then lower the amperage a little bit. So you can see here, this is this wattage here at 9 volts is very close to this wattage here at 5 volts. But as you can see, the amperage, the voltage increased here, but the amperage get lowered. That's the difference. So if I will increase more here, the voltage, I will get a little bit less amperage here and higher wattage pretty much, but also higher temperature. So when I change the 0.2, this resistor that you are seeing it right now here, I could really step up the wattage. I could really ramp it up. I entered into the hero mode. So if I was very slow here and here, then I step it up from 2 watts. I step it up to 5.6, then 8.5 watts, 10 watts, 14 watts, almost 15, and then this last one, which is 20 watts, and it is representing exactly half of this transistor datasheet wattage. And here, this 9 volts that I'm having, it should be a little bit more towards this 100 volts. That is, so that's the meaning of the voltage. You have to rise it up, to rise up the voltage in order to increase the wattage and to keep a balanced, not too high amperage. You know, in some cases it's easier to increase the voltage and keep the amperage low. Actually, this is my case that I'm having here. Exactly my case with my power supply that I'm having is better to increase the voltage and keep the amperage low and get a higher wattage. But in other cases, probably if you have a lot of very thick wires in your transformer, you can increase the amperage a lot and keep the voltage low, like I did it here actually, kind of, and get the same wattage dissipation. You know, it's an incredible journey, and right now I am happy. I'm very happy that I reached this stage. And what I'm having here, I didn't check the wires how hot they are because I was keeping an eye on this plate and this resistor here, how hot they are. Now I can keep my hand on them because they are getting colder. But oh boy, holy fucking shit! Look at the dimension of this plate. It's almost like my hand, you know. It's almost like it's a little bit bigger than my hand. If I'm doing it like this, it's like that. Everything is stopped right now. I can touch. It's not powered anymore, so I can touch without problems. So that's from here to here, probably like that. Holy fucking shit! It's enormous. It's exactly what I said before. I need a brick. Well, this is not exactly a brick, but is very good. I like it very much because it's very thick, very very thick. I don't like it because it's way too big, way too large. But it's. For very short or very small time exercises or tests, this 75 or 65 will not be really a problem because it takes time to reach this 65 degrees Celsius in 5 minutes. It takes time a little bit until the entire surface, this entire aluminum plate is heating up consistently in every point pretty much until it is reaching that stage when it is completely heat up. It takes some time, you know. For a very quick exercise or tests that you have to do at 20 watts, it will be no problem. You know, it will heat up, but you will have to wait a lot of time to reach these values that I noted here. And it will actually increase a little bit more with time, but how much, I'm not completely sure. I believe it will stagnate. It will reach a point when it will not increase anymore. It will be, you know, fixed temperature and it will stay there. Here, in these situations, when it was 31, you see from 1 watt to, yeah, well, let's say 5 watts. It was relatively constant temperature, but of course I did the test a little bit quick. I didn't wait too much time. Fantastic. What I want to say is I believe this is the best or the most proper circuit and wiring and a thickness and without losses. I believe this is the most efficient, the most correct experiment that I did so far, using very thick wires here from the power supply. So this is very very thick wires. So using very very thick wires for the power supply here, very big alligators, big enough. Well, I'm not completely happy with these wires that I'm having here, but they are thick enough. And also here I have a lot of thickness that is running. Also these wires are very thick. I eliminated this very important variable that was power dissipated inside the wires and not in the transistor itself. So I kind of concentrated everything only on the transistor itself. So now I'm getting the most I'm very close to the most correct values that I'm getting for the transistor itself without other losses in the circuit or in the wires or everywhere else. You know, again, the circuit is this wire that is coming into this point 1 and is following until point 2. So is this dotted wire here? Make an exception of that. So it's only this wire here that I'm connecting it directly to the collector of the transistor. And now I'm testing the transistor at this point. So I'm repeating it because it's good. Repetition is the mother of learning. Is how we were taught in school to learn stuff with repetition. And it's very very true. It's not just a shitty saying. It's very true. If you repeat it enough times, you will learn it. It's a universal rule. And practice is the mother of learning. And what I'm doing here is practice, and this is the best learning you can have. Anyway, and yeah, very very, I'm very happy with the results right now because I believe what I'm having right now is the closest and the most correct data that I could collect over the using this circuit. So far I was getting all sort of errors because I didn't sync everything from the beginning, from the start. I couldn't. So step by step I was thinking about the problems and resolving them along the way. And also this big heatsink was the biggest problem that I had. And now that I find a solution here with this one, I was extremely curious. I am a little bit disappointed. 50%. I'm 50-50 right now. I'm 50% happy, 50% disappointed. Why so much disappointment? Because I was expecting to get up to its maximum using this so big heatsink and so thick. You see, it's very, very thick. I was expecting to get a very high wattage dissipation from it, 40 watts or close to 40 watts, or even over 40 watts. I was hoping with this very extremely big heatsink here, and I couldn't. And I only got 20 watts, which is half of its rating, and I had to push it to 75 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. So I had to push it way over 50 degrees Celsius. You see, at 50 degrees Celsius, in less than 5 minutes, I reached 15 watts almost. But remember, this will have increased. So probably, realistically, for 10 minutes, probably this 10 watts for 10 minutes. 50 degrees Celsius, 10 minutes, 10 watts. Easy to remember, hopefully. But everything is variable and dependent on the heatsink size and thickness that you use in your experiments. So this is it for this part. I had to take out this voltage regulator that you are seeing here. I actually did a test with it and I didn't film it, but I managed to get 2 watts from this voltage regulator, which is super high, because by itself, naked in the wind, without any kind of heatsink on it, you can get, I don't remember how much. Oh yeah, I have the data here. It's about this guy. The voltage regulator, and here I took these values while it was naked in the air, and at, let's say, 0.7 watts. I had to push it pretty much to get this 700 milliwatts, but I had to push it to 65 degrees Celsius. So more correctly is 0.3 watts, maintaining it at around 47 degrees Celsius. So this is the limit that I have. So it's very, very weak by itself without any kind of heatsink. So this is the comparison. But by itself, 0.3. And you reach 50 degrees Celsius. And with this heatsink that I'm having here, which is a small radiator compared with what I'm having here, and very thin, I actually collected the data from it. Is 70 millimeters, is 7 centimeters with 7 centimeters, and 2 millimeter thickness, but I have it folded in 3, so it's 6 millimeters in total. So this is more correct. 2 millimeters times 3 is this 6 millimeter thickness. Kind of. And now when I'm using this radiator here, I could reach 1.98 watts at 49 degrees Celsius. So you see here it's 49 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes actually, which is good. It's very good. This is a big step up on driving a voltage regulator like that. I'm very happy with this as well. I know it's looking like it's little, but remember, if you compare it with how it's running by itself, it's a very big step here. I'm really happy with this load circuit that is changeable, that is very hackable. I don't like some aspects of it, but I'm starting to adapt to them. Like the 3 variables that I mentioned before. Resistor variable that you can change it, transistor variable that you can change it, and other components that you can add that they should pass through this transistor, and this transistor should keep up with the wattage of the tested component that you have there. So these are the 3 variables for this, only for this circuit that I'm having here. Okay, that's it for this part. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time, and bye-bye from your favorite artist electronist, Mr. Q12. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.